One tracks your route, your heart rate and your distance. The other gives you turn-by-turn directions, plays music and tells you how fit you are. This is Drone and Phone Gear Reviews, and today we're talking smartwatches. Welcome to a brand new episode of DP Reviews. Jack, what are we doing today?
Today we're reviewing watches.
Smartwatches. Now on Drone and Phone we use smartwatches as a way to record our GPX files, the maps that we do, that we can then share with you. Also the altitude and how far we've gone on each hike. I use a Garmin 945, Forerunner 945, and Jack?
I'm using a Coros Pace 1.
Now there's a big difference between this on price. Mine actually costs 2 times the Pace 1 that he's got. And today we're going to explore, is it worth it? Let's get going. Smartwatches have become popular with hikers and trail runners alike, and on Drone and Phone they have become our preferred means to record our activities. If you add apps to them, they have thousands of potential functions. So for this review, we're going to concentrate on what we use them for on the show. So as people who watch Drone and Phone, you'll know that I have an iWatch, and I do love the iWatch as a timepiece, as something that has a fantastic screen. But early on I realised that the battery life was not good enough for Drone and Phone. If I have it on GPS and I've got maps on and other things, it typically only lasts me about 4 hours. And when I'm out filming, I need a lot longer than that. Second problem was when I was doing the co-steering, I found I was scratching the screen very easily, easy to get damaged. And on one occasion, when I dived in, the watch actually came off and I lost it. I had to get another one. Because of the fact the straps are not particularly solid. Whereas with my Garmin watch now I have 36 hours of GPS, which is more than I need. If I take the GPS off, of course it lasts even longer, but that wouldn't be much point on Drone and Phone. A good scratch resistant surface which has not been scratched so far, and of course a good strap here that makes sure it never comes off when I jump into the water. Okay, let's see what Jack's doing. We start by turning on the GPS tracking at the start of the hike, a ritual for any Drone and Phone episode, then head off for a short morning hike. So every morning I go out for a run, or in this case, because I'm with Jack, a slow-paced walk. And I use this as a training tool, and it has a few key features on it that help me train. Now Jack's going to go through them one by one as we get to that part, because they are also a lot of them on his.
Well, DJ just mentioned we use the watch to record our route and steps distance. So beside that, there are some key functions both watches got. First is about heartbeat warning. I think the other Drone and Phone host, George, might need one of these when go uphill.
I almost die.
So this will remind you when your heartbeat got too high. It's a warning, so you can literally stop and slow down, rest and all that. The other one is sports mode, and the other one is stamina. And there are a few more functions he has, I don't. The key to sports mode is that not only can you tell the watch which activity you're doing, you can also set up the watches to show the metrics you are most interested in. So for me, I have time of day, distance travelled, and time of the activity as the 3 metrics I can see at any point in a run. The stamina, or body battery as Garmin calls it, is a measure of how much energy you have left and how long it will take you to recover from any activity. Well, by now you may be asking why it's worth paying double the money for this watch as compared to Jack's. Well, this has got some extra functions. Let me go through them, 4 in fact, that are key. Now both watches have got a lot of functions, and there are other things that this has that his doesn't, but I'm talking about Drone and Phone and how we use it. Now first, VO2 max. Now actually Jack's watch does have a VO2 max, but he can't see it on the watch, he can only see it on his phone. Now for VO2 max, this is the amount of oxygen that we're actually using, and the better the score, the more we are able to utilize the oxygen that we breathe in, the fitter we are. Now why that's important, for 2 reasons for Drone and Phone. The first is heat acclimatization. So this measures my body temperature and tells me how that relates to my VO2 max, and tells me if I'm getting too hot
and how I'm acclimatizing. And in Hong Kong, that is important when we get round to the summer when it is really hot. Second is for altitude acclimatization. Again, something that we do on drone and phone is that we go up very tall mountains in Sichuan, in the Himalayas and other places. And what I've had to do previously is just gauge how I'm doing in terms of the acclimatization. If you go too high too quickly, you get headaches. It's the end of the game. You have to go down. So you have to do it slowly. But with this, I can do it much more scientifically. I can work out how I'm doing with the climate and when is the right time to go higher. So the next thing is cadence. This is something that I have that Jack doesn't have. This tells me how I am running or how I am walking, if I'm too far on the right or on the left, or on the toe or on the heel. And it allows me to make adjustments to be more efficient in the way that I walk.
Okay, so cadence has nothing to do with filming drone and phone, but useful if you're trying to improve your running efficiency and gives me an extra point over Jack.
Now here come the two killer features. The first is maps. I have maps on this thing. I can download GPX maps of routes that I want to do, and it will not only show it to me on the watch, which means I don't have to get my phone out, but it'll also give me turn-by-turn directions. It will tell me, okay, you're coming to a fork in the path, turn left here, or keep going straight when you come to the next junction. It's telling me that as I go, and that is a super useful function if you're on routes that you don't know. So if you've downloaded the drone and phone GPX routes, you have one of these watches, it will tell you how to go without getting lost, as we often do.
Just to be clear here, the watch does not actually give you a voice telling you which way to turn like a sat-nav in a car, but rather beeps to tell you to look at the watch where you'll see the turn indicated on the screen.
Second thing is music or podcasts or audiobooks. I can download these onto my watch, link it to my Bluetooth headset, and then I am away without again needing to use the phone. This is more for running, because on walks I would normally have my phone with me, so it doesn't really matter. But when I run, I like to not have to take my phone with me. I can go super light, and I can have my audiobooks playing as I go without needing anything else to go. So those are the key functions. For me, that is worth the extra 2,000 Hong Kong dollars or so, the double price that I'm paying for this as opposed to the one that Jack's got. But as I said, Jack's pace is absolutely fine if you just want to track what you're doing, and then lots of other functions that we haven't talked about.
That's totally overpriced, over-engineered.
That's it for this episode. My watch 2.64, not a great hike. How about you?
My watch 2.65.
It encourages you a little
10
bit
meters
more.
ahead.
As I've said all the way along, two different price points. It all depends on what you want. Jack's watch is perfectly capable of a lot of stuff we do on drone and phone. Mine's got a few extra functions, and of course you may already have a smartwatch that already does this. So check that before you go out and buy a new watch. For now, I'm DJ Clark.
I'm Jack.
Oh, we don't do this, do we?
This is Drone on the Phone. Bye. So look at our cameraman.
How's the shot, buddy? Good?